And to get context on the alliance between Zelenskyy and the other European leaders and the meeting with Trump, let's bring in Professor Robert English. Robert, great having you first. And of course, I got to say that you're the director of the Central European Studies at the University of Southern California. Let's go to the first question. Ukraine's President Zelenskyy is at the table alongside European leaders. What does this mean to you?
Well, it means they're presenting the strongest possible front to Donald Trump to argue for standing firm with Ukraine, not conceding to Russia, and as we've heard in the words of Ursula von der Leyen and other European leaders, not even conceding any territory. This is a maximalist position. This means that Russia has to retreat from all the lands it's conquered, and even from Crimea, which was annexed almost a decade ago. So it's really an unrealistic position. It's the maximalist pro-Ukrainian position, and it collides with what Trump just heard from Putin, which is a strong Russian position. It's a recipe for an impasse if Trump follows it literally.
So we're having a little bit of a technical blip here, but can we continue with a little bit of this conversation as we solve the actual blip? And that is, on the one side, you have a Russia, a Putin that is taking a maximalist position, saying we're not going to retreat from whatever we have. At the same time, we heard Ursula von der Leyen saying there will be no part of Ukraine handed over to Russia. In this context, do you see a negotiation or some kind of arrangement as a possibility, or what do you expect to happen next?
It all depends on Trump. If Trump accedes to the European position, then the war will simply go on for another 6 months. And I'm afraid that means Ukraine will lose more territory, more soldiers, and when they return to the bargaining table, it will be in an even weaker position. Alternatively, Trump could say, guys, this is not realistic. You're losing. We have no weapons left, so to speak. I do not have leverage to impose these sanctions you want on Putin. And there's no way forward but compromise. Be realistic and abandon this maximalist position and meet Putin halfway.
At the same time, Putin seems to really fear secondary sanctions, right? Those can be crippling, absolutely destructive to Russia's economy. So factoring that into this equation, what might Putin be willing to concede, and what do you think is non-negotiable?
The problem is, I don't think Putin fears secondary sanctions. You're correct that they could be, in principle, crippling, but they won't happen. They won't happen for at least 2 reasons. One is that Trump is desperate to conclude trade deals with countries like India and China. And this would blow all of that up. It would be explosive. And by the way, Russia has reserves to last quite a bit longer, even with those sanctions. But they won't happen. The second reason is the sort of hypocrisy here. If Trump is going to apply secondary sanctions to countries that are buying fossil fuels from Russia, then the first he has to target are European Union countries. It's not widely understood, but the European Union continues to import massive amounts of liquefied natural gas from Russia. Last year, they set records in volume and approximately $25 billion worth in value. It's not just India and China, it's the EU. So Trump, if he were consistent, Ursula von der Leyen would have to say, wait, we need to stop supporting Russia with our purchases. So you see, it's really complicated. And if Trump were to try to single out India and China, it would blow up in his face. And he knows that. So he won't do it. And that's why his leverage over Putin is limited.
Robert English, thank you for your time and especially your insights.